So, looking at how we cope with change is an important piece of adapting to different life transitions, adapting to illness, or any new things that are different. So, how do we adapt to change? Three common sticking points might prevent us from embracing change. Those are a lack of awareness of internal or external effects. That could be our internal thinking or externally in our environment, how it changes our work environment, how it changes our lifestyle, all those things. A sense of attachment is the next one to the way things are right now. So if I was healthy and I got chronic illness disorder, it might be that sense of attachment to performing as healthy instead of being not able to do things because of fatigue or symptoms. So, that sense of attachment to the way things are right now is going to affect how I adapt to change. Lastly, a tendency to resist the unknown. The more we resist change, the more tension we create for ourselves. Uncertainty shakes most of us. In fact, the mere mention of the word change is enough to send a shiver down the spine. While the fundamental part of life can often feel disorienting and scary, it's also what helps us grow, move forward, and ultimately live a fulfilling life. Every single one of us deals with change on a daily basis, be it external, the place we live, the people we know, or internal, our emotions, physical sensations, thoughts. But even if we're able to acknowledge change on a fundamental level, it may still feel difficult to openly embrace it. Learning how to accept change requires us to relinquish our hold on certainty and control, a significant perspective shift. And that might feel easier to navigate with mindfulness in tow. With the right techniques and practice, change may begin to feel less overwhelming and more like a welcome part of life. Attachment is a big one that we look at when we do chronic illness therapy. And often when we do adapting to life transition therapy styles. So, attachment is how things currently are, usually, and it fuels our tendency to chase after or hold on to things we know and feel comfortable with. Human nature seeks certainty, and if it can't find certainty, it prefers the familiar. But by tightly gripping to life as it is, we create tension between how we want things to be and how things actually play out at home, at work, in our relationship, and within our very character. Next, resistance is a big one. Ultimately, the more we resist change, the more adverse to it we become. Not only are we swimming upstream, trying to keep everything under our control, but we are also actively pushing against those things that we don't like or fear in some way. Because of these things, most of the time, we're caught up in the world of thought. We're just experiencing what feels like the same thing over and over, but that's just our habitual tendency. It can be different than that, but only once we become more aware of it. Often resistance keeps us from being able to adapt. How mindfulness can make change feel easier to navigate. Truly learning how to feel more accepting of change is a skill that requires practice. Thinking about being more open to change is very different from actively experiencing it. Mindfulness can be an immensely helpful tool in helping us sit with uncertainty. One of the first skills of mindfulness practice, like meditation, provide is the ability to fully focus on the present moment, accepting of the now. As we work on bringing our attention to the here and now, we might begin by doing a body scan. So often, the easiest way to start becoming more aware of change is by noticing the different physical sensations in our body. That's like noticing if our chest feels tight, if our heart's speeding up, if our hands are sweaty. What physical sensations are you feeling? As we gain a better sense of how the body is feeling, how it's changing in the moment, we're more able to tap into how our thoughts and emotions do the same. We are, in effect, training our mind to better deal with and accept all the changes. When the practice, we're able to step back and look at thoughts more objectively. We can get a better understanding of where and when resistance to change comes up and how that resistance is tied to old thought patterns, storylines, and conditioned beliefs. By observing how the mind behaves in this way, we'll start to see how resistance is wanting things to be held in place. And these are the areas where we can work on loosening our grip, allowing life to flow and unfold at its own pace. How you cope is a choice. Change is inherently challenging, and ultimately, it's how we adapt and react to challenges that can make all the difference. By using mindfulness as a guide, we can begin to actually experience and sit with uncertainty in a gentle way that helps us become more accepting in time. In stepping back and letting go, we can finally learn to see change for what it is, a natural and often beautiful part of life. Food for thought. In life, change is the only constant. Unless we learn to let go of our thoughts and narratives, we'll never realize our full potential. When you train your mind to experience a greater sense of flow, you can be more comfortable with the change. Thoughts can feel absorbing, but what if there was a way to step back from them? You can't always change what happened in the past, but you can change how you feel in the present moment. Notice what you're holding on to and drop the preoccupying storyline, allowing you to reframe stressful situations. Learn to let go of resistance and find acceptance not just towards your own thoughts and feelings, but also other people in difficult situations. Our thoughts can be absorbing, but what if there was a way to step back from them? What if there was a way to just pause and create a gap between thought and action?